शलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरुवे नमः। नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्तस्वामिन्निति नामिने। नमस्ते सारस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेषशून्यवादी पाश्चात्यदेशतारिणे। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। भूते महद्भिर्यमा पुरो विभु निर्मायश्येते यदमूषपूरुषः भुङ्क्ते गुणान् षोडशात्मका सोऽलङ्कृशिष्ट भगवान् वचांसि मे। श्रीकृष्ण शरणं शरणागतं कथा अमृतं सततपिबतं भक्तिवेदान्तमार्गपन्थनं सर्वलोकऋषिदेव जन्मप्रसन्नं सर्वलोकऋषिदेव जन्मप्रसन्नं। Hare Krishna, dear Prabhus and Mataji. So welcome to the morning Srīmad Bhāgavatam study sessions. So we are continuing with the verses from Srīmad Bhāgavatam, first canto, 8th chapter, text number 37 we were looking at. So this is a very nice verse where Kuntī Maharani is pleading to the Lord not to leave. Narayanam namaskritya naram chaiva narottamam devim saraswatim vyasam tato jayam mudiraye. Om namo bhagavate vasudevaya. Om namo bhagavate vasudevaya. Om namo bhagavate vasudevaya. Apiyadyanastvam svakrite hitaprabho jihasasi svit sruhido nujivinaha yesham nachanyad bhavatak padambuja parayanam rajasuyojitahasam. Translation: O my Lord, you have executed all duties yourself. You are leaving us today, though we are completely dependent on your mercy and have no one else to protect us, now when all the kings are at enmity with us. So Kuntī Maharani here says, we are completely dependent on your mercy. And in the paper yesterday, we looked that Srila Prabhupada very nicely describes that such dependence in Lord is called as sanatana, as opposed to one who does not have anyone for protection or one who is not dependent on anyone. That person is anatha, without a guardian or a protector. So we see here that at the moment Krishna is with the Pandavas and Kuntī Maharani, and now he's about to leave, and he will go to Dwarka eventually after attending the departure of Bhishma Dev. So when Krishna is in Hastinapur, we know that the Dwarkavasis miss him immensely. And more than him, the Brajavasis are missing him immensely. And so there is always this union and separation. And in separation, they are drowned in sorrow and remembrance of Krishna. But it is that remembrance of Krishna that actually enlivens them and gives them happiness. But of course, when Krishna appears himself there, then they are in great jubilation. So when we see the praise, so Srīmad Bhāgavatam is full of praise. Praise in separation of Krishna, praise in union of Krishna. When Krishna is about to depart, then here Kuntī Maharani is praying. Similarly, When Krishna enters Dwarka in the 11th chapter of Bhagavad Gita, we see how the Dwarkavasis address the Lord. And I thought these verses are very significant because it tells us about the relationship of this point, that having Sanatha, that we are Sanatha, as in we are having a master whom we are dependent on, and that master is looking after us in all respect. So the Dwarkavasis in 11th chapter of Srīmad Bhāgavatam, they address Krishna as Bhavayanastvam Bhavavishva Bhavana. So Krishna is addressed as Bhavavishva Bhavana. He is the creator of the whole of universe. But although he is the creator of all of the universe, he is Bhavaya. Bhavaya means that he acts for the welfare. So he doesn't say, here is the material world, go and suffer. No, he creates the material world, and then he also looks after our welfare, on how we can extricate ourselves from the material world and establish relationships with him. So in a couple of previous verses, we see that this is the reason Krishna appears also in this material world. Because if we are separated from Krishna, then bhavasmin klishyamanam. Klishyamanam nam means in this bhava, in this material world, we are klishyamanam, we are suffering. But Krishna is bhavaya. He is not letting us suffer in this material world. And he is giving us vidya, he's giving us knowledge, and he's turning our desire towards him, and so that we can dedicate our activities with him, in connection with him, and we can surrender to him and form relationships with him. And what are these relationships? The Dwarkavasis, they address Krishna as he's entering Dwarka. Bhavayanastvam Bhavavishva Bhavana Tvameva Mata Tasruhut Pati Pita Tvam Sadguruna Paramam Devatam. So there are 5 designations or 6 designations given here. And O Krishna, Tvameva Mata, you are like our mother. Sruhat, you are our well-wisher, always doing well and good deeds unto us. Patihi, you are our protector. Without you, we have no one to protect us. Pita, you are like our father. You are a father to us. You always look after our welfare and act on our behalf without us having to ask you to act. And Sadguru Naha, you are our spiritual preceptor. What is good for us, you advise and you guide us. And at the same time, Paramam Jadevatam, you are our worshipable deity, our worshipable Lord. And in this way, Yasyanu Kritino Bhabhuvima. Yasyanu Kritino Bhabhuvima means, Anuvritya means following the footsteps. So following the footsteps of the instructions that Krishna gives, Kritinaha, we will be successful, Babhuvima, in all respects. This is what the Dwarkavasis are saying. And they go on to say that Aho Sanatha Bhavatasma Yadvayam, that, O Lord, you are our Natha, and therefore we are Sanatha. Sanatha, again, means that we have a master. We are not orphans. We are not without guidance. We are not like wild animals in the forest. And you are constantly looking upon us. A bit later down the verses, Kuntī Bharani says, Tava Vikshitai, that because Krishna, you are looking upon us, the towns, the villages, the oceans, the rivers, the jewels, the vegetation, all are flourishing and nourishing us because of Hi Edham Tatava Vikshite, you are looking at us. And How is Krishna's drishti? How is Krishna's sight? Premasmita snigdha nirikshananana. He is premasmita snigdha. He is lovingly smiling. Smita means smiling. And snigdha means full of affection. So when Krishna is looking upon us, his sight is not of contempt that what are you? You know, you have remained separated from me for so long. No, Krishna looks at the living entities with love. He smiles at the living entities and he's full of affection. Nirikshananam. And when we look upon the Lord and have darshan of him, Pashyam Rupa Tava Sarva Saubhagam, then it is all auspicious. Tava Sarva Saubhagam. And this auspiciousness knows no bounds. And this is the reason Kunti Maharani is especially requesting to Krishna that please don't leave us now, especially when all the kings are at enmity with us. And in the purport, Srila Prabhupada says that although most of the kings were killed, but their dependents were still there and they were causing a lot of chaos. And in this case, we say it is Ashwatthama who had released a series of Brahmastras, and he was still causing a lot of pain and anxiety within the Pandava camp. So just continuing with this purport, did we finish reading this purport? I can't recall. I think we just left it where the word Sanatha was mentioned. So we'll just continue. So would anyone like to read the paper starting from the sentence, those who try to become falsely independent?
Yeah, Hare Krishna Prabhu, can I?
Yes, yes.
Those who try to become falsely independent of the Lord are called anatha or without any guardian, whereas those who are completely dependent on the will of the Lord are called sanatha or those having someone to protect them. Therefore, we must try to be sanatha so that we can always be protected from the unfavorable condition of material existence. By the deluding power of the external material nature, we forget the material condition of life is the most undesirable perplexity. The Bhagavad Gita therefore directs us in 7.19 that after many births, one fortunate person becomes aware of the fact that Vasudeva is all in all, and that the best way of leading one's life is to surrender on to him completely. That is the sign of a Mahatma. All the members of Pandava family were Mahatmas in household life. Maharaja Yudhishthira was the head of these Mahatmas, and Queen Kunti Devi was the mother. The lessons of the Bhagavad Gita and all the Puranas, specifically the Bhagavata Purana, are therefore inevitably connected with the history of Pandava Mahatmas. For them, separation from the Lord was just like the separation of a fish from water. Srimati Kunti Devi therefore felt separation like a thunderbolt, and the whole prayer of the queen is to try to persuade the Lord to stay with them. After the battle of Kurukshetra, although the inimical kings are killed, their sons and grandsons were still there to deal with the Pandavas. It is not only the Pandavas who were put in the condition of enmity, but all of us are always in such a condition. And the best way of living is to become completely dependent on the will of the Lord and thereby overcome all the difficulties of material existence. Hare Krishna Prabhu, thank you.
Thank you so much, Prabhuji. So Prabhupada very nicely in the end concludes that it is not just the Pandavas, we are also constantly under difficulties. But when we are connected with the Lord, we are like fish in water, and we are not dependent on Lord. When we are anatha, then we are like fish out of water. we have no chance of survival. So let's all be Sanatha, have Krishna as our master, our well-wisher, our father, our mother, our Suhrit, our spiritual master, and our supreme worshipable Lord. Krishna, in one of the papers, I remember later down in 8th canto of Srīmad Bhāgavatam, says that Krishna is a son who will never leave. Krishna is a friend who will never cheat. Krishna is a spiritual master who will never fail to guide. Krishna is a supreme worshipable Lord who will never fail to reciprocate. And Krishna's immunity is 100% against the material nature of the condition of material nature is always that it deteriorates and it makes us suffer. But when Krishna is overlooking us, then we are immune from such deterioration. Any questions, Prabhu Mataji's? Okay, let's go to the next verse. Text number 38.
Prabhu, Hare Krishna, can I share something, Prabhu?
Yes, Prabhu. Yeah.
There was a pastime on this Sanatha and Anatha. Once Prabhupada was walking on the Juhu beach in Mumbai, and he was walking with the disciples, and they saw first they saw a man walking his dog. And immediately after that, Prabhupada and the disciples saw a lot of the street dogs, just roaming around. And then Prabhupada stopped and he asked the question. He said, so what is the difference between the dog who has got a master and these street dogs? And the devotees, didn't know what Prabhupada was meaning because they had no idea. Prabhupada said the street dog has a master, and that's why he's very healthy. He's happy. He's got nice whatever, and then the street dogs are all like skinny and they're just fighting for food and all that. So Prabhupada said, similarly, we should have a master who will take care of us, and then we'll be very happy with a master like Krishna. Thank you, Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
Thank you so much, Prabhuji. And Krishna is not only a master, Krishna is a worthy master. Kulshekar Maharaj very nicely says, Nataha smate natas, that sorry, I forgot. Nathe, yes, Nathe, nah Purushottame Trijagatam. That he is the worthy master. Nathe, nah Purushottame Trijagatam, Ekan Dhipe Chetasam. So, because under Krishna's guidance, we will be nourished. And like, the street dogs, they don't have any patta. Patta means around the necks. They don't have any, identification band. Devotees, our identification band is the tulsi leaves we have around our neck. So text number 38. Kevayam nama rupabhyam yadabhi sahapandava bhavato darshanam yadhi rishikhanam iveshitu. Would anyone like to read the translation in the paper?
I can do it, Prabhu.
Yes, Mataji.
Translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. As the name and fame of a particular body is finished with the disappearance of the living spirit, similarly, if you do not look upon us, all our fame and activities, along with the Pandavas and Yadus, will end at once. Purport. Kuntī Devi is quite aware that the existence of the Pandavas is due to Sri Krishna only. The Pandavas are undoubtedly well established in name and fame and are guided by the great king Yudhishthir, who is the morality personified, and the Yadus are undoubtedly great allies. But without the guidance of Lord Krishna, all of them are non-entities, as much as the senses of the body are useless without the guidance of the consciousness. No one should be proud of his prestige, power, and fame without being guided by the favor of the Supreme Lord. The living beings are always dependent, and the ultimate dependable object is the Lord Himself. We may therefore invent, by our advancement of material knowledge, all sorts of counteracting material resources, but without being guided by the Lord, all such inventions end in fiasco, however strong and stout the reactionary elements may be. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mataji. So Srila Prabhupada's paper is so nice. The last line here is a punchline that without being guided by the Lord, all such inventions end in fiasco, however strong and stout the reactionary elements may be. So we may think we'll be able to protect ourselves, our assets, our family members, but guess what? Everything in due course of time will be taken from us. Our very own body will be taken from us. So let's look at word to word. Kuntī Maharani says, Ke, who are Vayam, we, Nama Rupabhyam, without fame and ability, Yadubihi, with the Yadus, Saha, along with Pandavaha, the Pandavas, Bhavataha, your Adarshanam, absence, Yarhi, as if Rishikhanam, of the senses, Eva, like Ishituhu, of the living beings. So, without Krishna, the fame, glories, and activities of both the Yadus and the Pandavas actually is all zero. So similarly, in Bhagavad Gita, Krishna also says, Shabdhake Paurusham Nishu, that I am Paurusham Nishu, the ability in man. And Srila Prabhupada in the paper says, we are unnecessarily proud of borrowed prunes. That means if any talent we have, it is due to Krishna's mercy. Any beauty we have, any wealth we have, it is only due to Krishna's mercy and blessings. On our own, we do not possess. And there will come a time, as will happen with Pandavas and also the Yadus, that Krishna will withdraw all these as well. Later on in the first canto of Srīmad Bhāgavatam, we see that when Krishna departs the material world, then the strength, the valor of Arjuna also departs. And Arjuna at that time is defeated by some tribal cowhead men, whereas Arjuna was so strong he could defeat great generals in the battle of Kurukshetra, because Krishna's blessings and mercy was there. But as soon as Krishna departs, Arjuna's inner strength, core and spirit also leaves, all his strength leaves. And in one of the verses, if I remember correctly, Arjuna there says, Tadvai dhanustaishabaha sarato hayaste soham rati nipatayo yata anamanti. He says, Tadvai dhanus, I have the same Gandiva bow. Sa Ishavaha, I have the same horses. Saratha, I have the same chariot. Tadvai Rati, I'm the same Rati, I'm the same warrior, Arjuna. Hinnipato yata anamanti, who even my enemies bowed at. However, Sarvam Shanena Tadabhut Asadishariktum. However, in no time at all, Asad, everything that I had is no longer there. It is Asad. It has been taken away because of Ishariktum. Isha here refers to Krishna, the supreme controller. If our abilities are Isha Riktum, Riktum means taken away or zero. If Isha takes away our abilities, then we become zero. we are no longer heroes. And then no matter what we do, then it will be like plowing burnt seeds in land. No matter how good the land is, the seeds will not fructify because it's burnt. It is like offering ashes into fire which has already burnt out. It will give no results. So if we are Ishariktum, meaning in our life, if Krishna is not there, then there is no protection. Kevayam nama rupabhyam. What good name or what good fame we will have. At the moment, we have something because Krishna's blessings are there. Let's go on to the next one, next verse. Neyam shobhisyate tatra yathe danim gadadhara vatpader ankita bhati swalakshana vilakshitaihi. Would anyone like to read the translation in the paper?
I can read, Prabhu.
Yes, ma'am.
Translation and purport by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. O Gadadhar Krishna, our kingdom is now being marked by the impressions of your feet, and therefore it appears beautiful. But when you leave, it will no longer be so. Purport. There are certain particular marks on the feet of the Lord which distinguish the Lord from others. The marks of a flag, thunderbolt, an instrument to drive an elephant, umbrella, lotus, disc, etc. are on the bottom of the Lord's feet. These marks are impressed upon the soft dust of the Lord, of the land where the Lord traverses. The land of Hastinapur was thus marked while Lord Sri Krishna was there with the Pandavas, and the kingdom of the Pandavas thus flourished by such auspicious signs. Kuntī Devi pointed out these distinguished features and was afraid of ill luck in the absence of the Lord. Thank you, Guru.
Thank you, Mataji. So the word to word, na, not, yam, this land of our kingdom, shobhishyate, will appear beautiful. So the shobha is there as long as Krishna is there. If Krishna is there, there is no shobha, there is no beauty. Tatra, then, yatha, as it is now. Idanim, how, Gadadhara, O Krishna. Tvat, your, padehi, by the feet, ankita, marked, bhati, is dazzling. Swalakshana, your own marks, vilakshitaihi, by the impressions. So even Brajavasis, we see that when they walk on the Braja, on the dust of Vrindavan, they actually look at the feet marks of Krishna's impression. And wherever there is feet mark of Krishna's impression, they actually worship that and they don't step on those marks. And constantly they're holding on to the lotus feet of Lord Shri Krishna within their hearts, within their minds, and regarding that as their supreme and utmost wealth. Text number 40. Any questions, Prabhus, Mataji, so far? Ime janatpadas vriddha supak aushadi virudha manadri natyudhanvanto hyedanta tavavikshitaihi. Would anyone like to read, please, the purport and the, translation and the purport?
I can read, Prabhuji.
Yes, Prabhuji, go ahead.
All these cities and villages are flourishing in all respects because the herbs and grains are in abundance. The trees are full of fruits, the rivers are flowing, the hills are full of minerals, and the oceans full of wealth. And this is all due to your glancing over them. Purport. Human prosperity flourishes by natural gifts and not by gigantic industrial enterprises. The gigantic industrial enterprises are products of a godless civilization, and they cause the destruction of the noble aims of human life. The more we go on increasing such troublesome industries to squeeze out the vital energy of the human being, the more there will be unrest and dissatisfaction of the people in general, although a few can live lavishly by exploitation. The natural gifts such as grains and vegetables, fruits, rivers, the hills of jewels and minerals, and the seas full of pearls are supplied by the order of the Supreme. And as he desires, material nature produces them in abundance or restricts them at times. The natural law is that the human being may take advantage of these godly gifts by nature and satisfactorily flourish on them without being captivated by the exploitative motive of lording it over material nature. The more we attempt to exploit material nature according to our whims of enjoyment, the more we shall become entrapped by the reaction of such exploitative attempts. If we have sufficient grains, fruits, vegetables, and herbs, then what is the necessity of running a slaughterhouse and killing poor animals? A man need not kill an animal if he has sufficient grains and vegetables to eat. The flow of river waters fertilizes the fields, and there's more than what we need. Minerals are produced in the hills and the jewels in the ocean. If the human civilization has sufficient grains, minerals, jewels, water, milk, etc., then why should it anchor after terrible industrial enterprises at the cost of the labor of some unfortunate man? But all these natural gifts are dependent on the mercy of the Lord. What we need, therefore, is to be obedient to the laws of the Lord and achieve the perfection of human life by devotional service. The indications by Kuntī Devi are just to the point. She desires that God's mercy be bestowed upon them so that natural prosperity be maintained by His grace. Hare Krishna. Thank you, Prabhu.
The natural prosperity is only maintained by His grace. Tava edhanta bhikshitehi, when He bestows His merciful plans. We are out of time, so we will, let Grace Bhavani Mataji continue on discussion on this particular verse and also word to word of this particular verse, which is very nice verse on how prosperity can reign in human society tomorrow. So please join us then. Granth Srīmad Bhāgavatam ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
Yes.
Have a wonderful Krishna conscious day, everyone. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Thank you, Prabhu.